Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Welcome to Life with Alli Daily. I hope you enjoy what you see and what you hear. And subscribe to the channel.
Amazing, and it fills our hearts with joy. But thanks for coming. But yeah, we'll just jump right in. If you have to get up, it's all good. We can deal. Also, before we get started, if you guys have any questions about any of the programs or projects that we're doing while we're talking, like interject and say, hey, what about leading us there? Did some amazing things. Our year-long journey there was like full of like intro to missionary life, what it looked like to raise a family there, homeschool, and then doing a lot of like outreach mission stuff to the Muslim population there. It's about 80% Muslim. So we got to work in different communities, work with some of the local leaders, local church leaders, and raise up like younger Christians. So we built some relationships with some younger core leaders in the church, and so we started a couple discipleship groups, one for like an older group age where they played soccer, and then afterwards we got to disciple them, talk about life. Most of them were Muslims, so we got to just share where their faith was, where our faith was. And it's actually that program, along with the English program we started, is still going to this day. So 3 years later, like we raised up some local leaders that are still running those programs. So it's a really cool. There's one leader in particular I wanted to highlight. His name's Aziz, and he was a former Muslim, and he came to the soccer program, and now he gave his life to Christ, started going to a local church there, and now he's like one of the leaders within that soccer program. So it's really cool just to see how God is like work. They speak French there in West Africa, so I will occasionally talk with him and a couple other guys to work on my French. But yeah, just to keep in contact with them is really cool, just to see how God is still using.
Gatherings, this is our fourth one, but this is like the one I was like super excited for. Just because everybody that is here just means so much to us, and like over the years, like we have some from like 10 years, 12 years ago with Daniel and Shalane and David and Justin, and then some like more current, and so it's just like all the walks and stages of life, pre-kids, with kids, now little grown kids. So it's just really special, everybody that's here. But Mitchell's Spain, so when we went to South Africa, we wanted to find like a place that we could go, one that didn't have malaria, two that spoke English, but three, like we could be in the community and be a part of the community and not like driving in and doing stuff and then driving out. But we also wanted a church that we felt at home in, and that we felt like this is where we could live. These are the kind of people we want to do life with. Because like here, we have like some of the funniest friends, like the best people we have here in Atlanta. And I'm like, I don't want to move somewhere else and then not like have that kind of community. Because once you taste like what community is like and having amazing people in your life is like, you're like, I don't want to settle for anything else, like Benin was very, very hard. Like we didn't have a community like this big, and the church, it was like it was French speaking, you just like it's just different. And I was sick like 6 months, and so like it was just very hard. So when we were looking at the different organizations, like those were the things we were looking for, and obviously led by the Holy Spirit and the Lord to go where He wanted us to go. But so we went to Cape Town, and they're like, oh, there's a Hillsong there, Hillsong Africa Foundation. And so we went to the church there in Cape Town, and I'm like, this is not for me. Like it's great, but it's not for me. And like this is not where like I see us doing life, and it's just very different, although very diverse, but just very different speed, just not for us. But then we met Keith, who works with Hillsong Africa Foundation, and we did all the programs that they do there in Mitchell's Plain that week with him. And the Friday night, I was like, you know what? Keith is somebody like I want to do life with. Like he's funny, he loves people like really well, loves the Lord. Like he just has really good like good conversation, like always making you think, like why am I doing what am I doing? Why am I doing what I'm doing? And like all these different things. Like, well, we need to meet his wife first because like I know a lot of really amazing women, It's like,
yes.
we met Pete and Andy, they came and talked to us, and they were telling us all about the colored community there in Mitchell's Plain. So in South Africa, you have black, white, and colored. Like, colored is not a derogatory term.
Yeah, she had to tell me that.
You can't use this word. You have the light, you have the dark. You don't use those words. But to them, it's like who they are. So that emotion and stuff like that. It's like if on their like applications is a black, white, colored, just like Hispanic, Native American, African American. You know, it's the same to them. Like if you would say, "Oh, well, you're just black," they're like, "No, like I'm colored."
Yeah.
And so they told us all about the colored community. They're very communal. Like they want to hang out, like young and old. It's not like it's just a really, really cool community. So we drove around Mitchell's Plain like all Sunday, because they have a Sunday night service. Drove all around, like they've just never been. And it's for kids in our neighborhood, but they're come from like really hard homes. There's always people in and out. There's not really like a family structure or like a strong one. A lot of parents are like either in gangs or drugs or in the neighborhood that we're in. And so we are doing libraries, so they just come like, there's no sport, they can't run around, they can't like do anything but like be calm and like read a book, or they play games, or we do like a creative craft with them, or we did like slime or tie-dye or cookie decorating or clay stuff. You know, different things they're not able to do. Huh?
I was saying I lead a Bible study.
Oh yeah, and at the beginning, we did a Bible study.
She pretty much does anything else except for...
So he does a Bible study with them to start, and then we do snacks, and then we spend like 2 hours with them doing that. And so it's been really good.
That's good.
And the boys can
That
come if they choose. Sometimes they decide to stay inside, sometimes they go outside. But it's something that they can do with us if they want to, which has been good.
Yeah.
Nice.
So, yeah,
So in the neighborhood also, so half Hillsong Africa Foundation had a sport program. So another reason like we felt led to Mitchell's Plain is the largest Muslim population in South Africa. So like around us there's probably 4 or 5 mosques. You can hear like the call to prayer every night, but like a lot of the neighbors, it's still about like maybe 60% Muslim, 40% Christian. But like the difference between there and Benin, so if you're Muslim, you can still come to like if they knew that we, which a lot of them know we're Christian, like missionaries there for a reason, but they still allow their kids to come to our house, do different like programmatic stuff, whereas in Benin, the Muslims couldn't even come like on the compound because they know it's a missionary compound. We had to be very strategic with how we did things. So we feel like God has definitely put us there to build relationship with a lot of the neighbors who are Muslim and just share, like not preach to them, but just eat with them, share life with them. And like God has opened up the door in a lot of special ways to our neighbors, and the boys have like really fit in. And we feel like we have neighbors that are like one of our in the community staying at our house right now. Like he's been living there for like the last 2 months, taking care of our house and dog, and we just feel blessed to like feel welcome, but also be a part of the family and the community. But so the sport program that I helped run was around soccer. So soccer is internationally, in South Africa it's no different. Like everyone loves soccer. So we come up with, it's like a 6-week program where we bring them together. We say, hey, we're gonna do a soccer sport program. We do different like drills and trainings and things like that. But at the end, we also cover a topic. So we might cover like respect or being a good teammate, some life skill that we cover at the end. We break them up into small groups. So we have local leaders that help run the programs because they speak, there's 11 national languages in South Africa. Everyone speaks English, but that's not necessarily their first language. So in Mitchell's Plain, they speak Afrikaans. So it's a Dutch language. It's where the root comes from. So a lot of times when they're like saying things in Afrikaans, they're not wanting us to hear. So we really wanted to focus on having local leaders that could nip some of the, whether it's like, you know, cursing or whatever it is, disruptive stuff. When they hear Afrikaans, they can kind of nip that in the bud. But just to have local leaders, that's another like big part of our heart. One day when we leave, like we want a lot of the things and programs that we've run to continue, or the same heart behind what we're doing, to keep pushing forward, because leaders in the community who speak the local language, understand the culture even better than we do, are going to make a much bigger impact than we ever will. So that's one of our hearts, to raise up those local leaders that are really going to have a huge impact far after we leave. So the sport program was amazing. we did that. I also help out with youth in the community, so I help lead a youth program every Friday in the church that we attend in Mitchell's Plain. And they're a mess, just like a lot of other teenagers, but they come like with a whole other set of like complications. We're all a mess, but like a work in progress. But so they come from, like Mary said, like backgrounds where the fathers, like there's a lot of fatherless homes, a lot of drug and alcohol abuse where these young people come from. They come to a safe space at youth on Fridays. We just have fun. We share the gospel. We sing. We dance. And it's a really special time. Actually, some of the neighborhood kids like have shown interest in coming, so that's one thing you guys can be praying for. Like we built a relationship the last year and a half. They know that we go to youth, but they're like, hey, I want to come. Every time I drive around to look for them to come on Fridays, they're not there. But I think one day, like God will bring them there and soften their hearts to that. So that's one thing we're hoping and praying for. But yeah, also some of you may have seen, like I lead a program called iHub. Daniel was actually able to come do a master class last year, not come physically, but he virtually. He was virtually.
Yeah, it would.
So he led a master class with our iHub program, which is a digital marketing program. We teach young people digital marketing skills, soft skills in business, and leadership and identity skills. So it's a 9-month free course where we take in these young people. They love Daniel. They love Daniel. No, they were like, literally, Daniel changed some of their perspectives on like inspiration with what they could do, with where they've come from, and like where Daniel and Shalane both are now. It's an inspiration, but just to, it's an inspiration to everyone. But yeah, we get to like train them state of the art, like so everyone has a laptop. They connect virtually actually with a team in Johannesburg as well. So there's 41 students this year. Last year there was 25, so it's grown. And it's basically it's a job training program. We get them job ready, and we have partners that offer jobs at the end of the program. So after the 9-month program, they can apply for these jobs. And last year we hired 10 of these young people. Now they're working in the hub where we do the training. I help facilitate one of the soft skills and business courses. So it's amazing just to come alongside them and see the progress that they've made from when they start the program to when they graduate. It's a free program. A lot of them wouldn't be able to afford, like go to university or college if it wasn't for something like this. So it's going to keep growing. Like if you ever want to volunteer or be like potentially lead a master class on an area of expertise that you have, reach out to me because we're looking for even international business leaders, women, men, doesn't matter. But yeah, God has been doing amazing work there. So one of the leaders I was going to highlight also, his name's Sanawo. He came through the program last year. He's actually a former professional soccer player. So I built a relationship with him, became like his coach, mentor. He did very, very good in the program, graduated. Then I was like, hey, Sanawo, if you have any free time, I also do a sport program. Told him about our sport program. He said, I'd love to do that. So he's now come along and is helping me lead the sport program in that community where we do the work. So it's just come full circle. Like God is softening his heart to help volunteer and give back of his time and talent. But it happens like God worked it out through the relationship I built with him through iHub, and he came along with the sport program. So yeah, that program has been very